What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Friday, November 12th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an 11-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the point guard position. Now, I've put together a video of value plays here, so just keep in mind, I'm not expecting all these to hit. Just pick your favorite value plays out of this video so that you can save some salary in your lineup, stack those studs. So let's get into it. At the point guard position, I like Derrick Rose from the New York Knicks playing the Charlotte Hornets, who have the worst defense overall. They give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing point guards, and Derrick Rose has averaged 25.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 23 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's projected at 26.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.6 times value. He's 4,800 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. 224 points scored in this game, and Derrick Rose has scored 47, 15, and 28 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 29, 20, and 28 minutes. So I like Derrick Rose here versus the Charlotte Hornets. Another value play at the point guard position, I like Patrick Beverley from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the LA Lakers, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Patrick Beverley has averaged 24.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. He's projected at 26.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 6.4 times value. He's only 4,200 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 225 points scored in this game, so another high-scoring game. And Patrick Beverley has scored 25, 25, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 34, 29, and 27 minutes. So fantastic matchup, high-scoring game, playing a bunch of minutes, low salary, so I like Patrick Beverley here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. 2 more value plays for you here. I like Lonnie Walker from the San Antonio Spurs playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Lonnie Walker has averaged 22 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 24 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. He's projected at 21.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.8 times value. He's 3,700 DraftKings salary, 1,200 more on FanDuel, so I like that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 218 points scored in this game, and Lonnie Walker has scored 21, 24, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 22, 27, and 15 minutes. So I like Lonnie Walker, especially on DraftKings, here versus the Dallas Mavericks. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. And another value play Take a look at Garrett Temple from the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing shooting guards. Garrett Temple has averaged 16.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 21 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. He's projected at 19.6 fantasy points here tonight, and that's 5.9 times value. He's 3,300 DraftKings salary, 800 more on FanDuel, and Garrett Temple has scored 18, 31, and 13 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 29, 34, and 26 minutes. So he's been playing a lot of minutes lately. He's super low salary on DraftKings, got 30 plus fantasy point upside. So I like Garrett Temple here versus the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Norman Powell from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Houston Rockets, who have the 3rd worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing small forwards, and Norman Powell has averaged 28.2 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 28 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. He's projected at 29.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 5,500 DraftKings salary, 900 more on FanDuel, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 223.5 points scored in this game. And Norman Powell has scored 32, 36, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 28, 32, and 27 minutes. So I like Norman Powell here versus the Houston Rockets. Okay, here's a stud pick for you. I like Harrison Barnes from the Sacramento Kings playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the 3rd worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing small forwards, and Harrison Barnes has averaged 39.2 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 37 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 38.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 7,400 DraftKings salary, the same price on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 218.5 points scored in this game, and Harrison Barnes has scored 25, 36, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 31, 36, and 37 minutes. So great matchup here. Harrison Barnes had a letdown game last game. I think he has a good bounce back game here tonight. So I like Harrison Barnes here versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I like Darius Bazley from the Oklahoma City Thunder playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the 8th worst defense overall. They've been pretty good versus opposing power forwards, but Darius Bazley has averaged 25.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 28 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 26.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. He's 4,900 DraftKings salary, 700 more on FanDuel, and Darius Bazley has scored 24, 36, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 33, 32, and 24 minutes. So if you can get Darius Bazley for over 30 minutes in this game, he should be able to crush value. So I like Darius Bazley here versus the Sacramento Kings. Another power forward that I like, here's another value play. I like Kyle Anderson from the Memphis Grizzlies playing the Phoenix Suns, who have a good defense overall. They've been middle of the pack defending opposing power forwards. Kyle Anderson has averaged 22.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 23 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He's projected at 23.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.5 times value. He's 4,300 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. And let's see, Kyle Anderson has scored 27, 36, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 24, 28, and 19 minutes. So I like Kyle Anderson here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, moving on to the center position. Here's a value play. I like Lamarcus Aldridge from the Brooklyn Nets playing the New Orleans Pelicans, who have the 6th worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing centers. Lamarcus Aldridge has averaged 24 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 20 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. He's projected at 24.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.9 times value. He's only 4,100 DraftKings salary, but he is 1,200 more on FanDuel, so probably a DraftKings play for me. I love that DraftKings price. And Lamarcus Aldridge has scored 35, 34, and 17 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 22, 23, and 17 minutes. So he's not playing a ton of minutes, but you can see if he plays over 20 minutes, he can reach 30 plus fantasy points and crush value. So I like Lamarcus Aldridge here versus the New Orleans Pelicans. And here's a stud pick at the center position. I like Jarrett Allen from the Cleveland Cavaliers playing the Detroit Pistons, who have a middle of the pack defense overall. They give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Jarrett Allen has averaged 36.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. He's projected at 38.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 7,800 DraftKings salary and 100 less on FanDuel. Jarrett Allen has scored 39, 49, and 41 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 34, and 38 minutes. So he's been playing monster minutes. He's been super productive. So I like Jarrett Allen here versus the Detroit Pistons.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.